In What's New to BJ brings you Propu, Face the Wind of Woe, a two-player only trick-taking sort of game. This game came out last year, not a whole lot of ratings. I don't think this is a very wide available game, but you see 1 to 2 players. There is a solo version on BGA, but I've played a bunch with 2 players. Alright, so in this game, one of you plays as the granny, one plays as the Propoof, which I'm just going to call the win from now on. The game is played over several rounds. Each round, you're each going to play 2 cards. The granny will always lead after moving the granny pawn. Where the trick-taking game comes in is the cards are 1 to 4. There are 3 suits. The suits are the different locations. So you have the stove, which is here. You have the table, which is down here. And then you have the bed, which is down here. So if you play the matching picture in the matching areas, for example, table on table, that is a trump card and can only beat by a higher trump card. If I play a non-trump card like a bed 1 inside a table area, any card higher than a 1 will beat it, trump or not. The goal of the game is for each character to do their own little goals. The granny needs to set the table. To set the table, you need to get 2 symbols here on this card. She also wants to make the bed, which is also 2 little symbols or chips. And then lastly, she wants to cook the food, and that she needs 3 on this. And then as well, the house needs to be clean. The house just represents this symbol here. If the wind can put a token on this right here, on this card here, the house is no longer clean and the granny can't win. The wind, though, on the other hand, wants to try to open the door, which is down here at the table. It needs 2 tokens to open the door. Notice you can put a third there, but only 2 are required. And you need 2 tokens here to open the window. And again, 3 tokens here, but only 2 are required. Now, how do you put a token? Well, Granny, the way she puts the tokens, if you put a card on a location, then the wind has a choice to try to beat that. Now, the only way to beat this table card, since it's a 2 table, it has to beat it with a higher number of a table, since it's table on the location of table. So the wind would have to have a 3 or 4. It does not in its hand currently, so it's going to play somewhere else. And now, since that area was not contested, Granny gets a token. Now, the wind has an opportunity to win a token here. If the granny cannot beat this 2 of bed here, the wind will get a token. Granny currently doesn't have a good play, so Granny will just go back here. And because Granny didn't beat that, the wind gets a token. And now the wind has one more option. The wind still doesn't have a good option because the wind doesn't have a table, so it's just going to place another one in the bed. Now there was 2 tokens here on the bed, but at the end of every round, wherever the granny is, so currently she's in the bed position, she cleans off one of the tokens. And that's the only way to remove any tokens in the game is with Granny. I put Granny there on purpose because my hand had no bed tokens, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to contest any of that. Stove here, a 4 stove cannot be beaten in any way. There's nothing higher than that. So the wind's going to have to play off again and play down on the bed. And then Granny got her first token in the stove. So as you can see, Granny's tokens cannot be removed. Once she gets 2 in the table, like here, she's pretty much done. She just has to prevent the wind from getting any tokens here. And then she has to try to get the tokens in the other locations. If Granny is not able to ever do all of her goals and the deck runs out and you run out of cards in your hand, the wind wins. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put a 4 on the stove. So this is not a trump. This is just 4. So any stove card will beat this card here in the stove, like so. The wind plays a 2 stove, which is higher. Therefore, no green token is put here because the wind defends it. Granny plays a 2 table. The wind player does not have any stoves, but any card higher than a 2 will beat it. And there, that's defended. Granny puts no token on. Granny tries again with a 3 of table, and again the wind defends it with a 4 of table. Now that the deck is empty, you have 2 cards left, which is the final round. So you're going to play one last round with the last 2 cards you have in your hand. Granny here still needs one more here, but it's not looking good. And then a very simple mistake I made in my game. If I would have just moved Granny over to the stove, she would have cleared off this 1 token and Granny would have actually won. So that's a little helpful tip for you. If you're at the end of the game and you're playing Granny, Granny needs to be at the stove because she's going to need to be able to clear off that last 1 token to clean the house. I'm going to give this one a 7. I think it was a little bit harder to learn. I had a really hard time with the rules. I think the rule book just suffered a little bit. Maybe they didn't have a good English speaker read through the rule book. Didn't make a whole lot of sense to me at all. But like I said, the tutorial helped a ton, and hopefully this video does the same. Well, as always, I've been the Digital Board Gamer. Good luck and have fun.